There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Boothe, Boothe, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown, Atlanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated. Whether you're here in person or you're online, we know who you are. You're an individualized expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever your ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself and describe yourself, we're glad you're joining us here today. You're welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. Here's our vision statement. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And for a better understanding of who we are and what we teach, listen to our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey.
So a practitioner is someone who's demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives and bring about changes in others when asked. Licensed by Center for Spiritual Living, they are available to you to provide spiritual guidance and support in those areas where you're looking for help. You may contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. And today we've got an amazing practitioner to give us good ideas and an affirmative prayer called the Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome this morning, our practitioner, Reverend Dr. John Karn.
Glad that's not mine. Good morning. Good morning, and good morning to everyone online. People hearing this or seeing this at another date and time, transcending time and space. Everyone is welcome here. And as your practitioner for the day, I want my portion of the service to complement Reverend Constance Sunday talk. And there are many ways we could do that. We could have met all week. But we trusted that everything was together and that we're meeting in the one mind. And in the one mind, we are all one, obviously. And so we're tuning in and out of that mind, tuning in and out of each other's thoughts. And an example of that came to me was Reverend David Barrett, who started this center, would have these dinner parties for his practitioners. And we would call and say, what do I bring? And he would say, you bring it, it's going to match perfectly. And he would never let us sign up to bring this or that. You just brought it, and we never went without one thing. There was never a time there wasn't a chicken or a salad or a dessert or a nice strong beverage. And we sort of do that here, I want to say, at Midtown. We trust everyone to bring what they're led to bring, and it shows up perfectly. Ernest Holmes said, when we leave this experience on earth, we go to another plane of being. And he goes into great detail because I guess there were a lot of questions. Would I need a different body? Would I have clothes when I get there? He said, everything you got when you came to this one will be provided at the next one. But with all these people on different planes, can we see them? Can we interact with them? I think we can some of the times, and I think some people are better at it than others, but we also have good coaches that will help us along the way with that skill. According to Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind text, the scripture reference is John 14, verses 2-3. Jesus said to the apostles, "In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. And if it were not so, I would have told you." And so with that, let's go into our treatment for this morning. I know this. There's one power, one presence, one creative cause, one substance, one material, one heart, one mind, one love, one perfection of health and prosperity. And this all abides in that upstairs room consciousness, the one with a window, that we might be able to receive more light. And we take this information as we go within and upstairs, we take it and bring it with us, because these characteristics are our true characteristics. We are love. We are joy. We are peace. The universe is healthy. We are part of that universe. We are part of all that is. And when we say there is one love, that means we bring the love. We've got it, and we're not running out of it. It's a flow situation. When we tune in to creativity, that is the creativity of the Creator. It is our true nature as well. We allow it. We're immersed in it. It comes to us. It comes through us, and we're expressing back and forth with that one mind, and it is one thought actually the entire time. And so for this morning, I claim, know, affirm, manifest, and pray that we are all of the same mind this morning. We are not distracted. We are here in great love and great commitment to this center. And we are here to bless and uplift Reverend Constance and each person here. And with that, I'm going to let the words be. Just go out and do their thing. I'm not going to worry about them, not going to check. And I know that my words do not return unto me void. And together we say, and so it is. Oh. All righty, the music for reflection this morning is Every Step is Holy by Karen Drucker and Gary Lynn Floyd.
Every step is holy, every breath is life, every moment precious, when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Now you can get some of these if you want to do it with her. Every Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every breath is life. Every moment precious. Every moment precious. When held up to the light. When held up to the light. Every heart connected. Every heart connected. Each the face of God. Grace has shown me. Every step is holy. So right now, we know in this precious, precious time, being here with each other, being able to sing together, being able to touch each other, that we don't take any of it for granted anymore. That being with each other is a holy experience. That we allow ourselves to just breathe into that holiness. Just know that this is precious. And that every step, every breath we take is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious. When held up to the light. Every heart connected. Each the face of God. Grace has shown me. Every step is holy. Holy.
It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Constance Boothe is an award-winning entrepreneur, educator, fashion industry expert, and metaphysical speaker, and minister of the science of mind, whose work bridges style, personal transformation, and conscious living. With more than 2 decades of experience in fashion, business development, and higher education, she's dedicated her career to helping individuals discover and express their authentic potential. Currently, Reverend Constance serves as professor of fashion marketing at Clark Atlanta University, where she teaches courses in marketing, trend forecasting, retail buying, consumer behavior, and product development. A lifelong student of spiritual principles and personal growth, Reverend Constance integrates metaphysical wisdom with practical success strategies, inspiring others to recognize the divine potential within themselves. She's also the host of Dress and Address podcast on YouTube, so you can look for her there, where she explores fashion, business, personal development, spirituality, and contemporary life through conversations designed to uplift, educate, and empower. Through her teaching, speaking, entrepreneurship, and media platforms, Reverend Constance continues to encourage others, align purpose, prosperity, and self-expression in every area of life. So welcome, Reverend Constance.
Thank you. Good morning. That music, that everything is holy, put me in a whole different mindset, but the right one for my talk with you this morning. Today I'm going to talk about something that is a phenomenal for all of us. Our magnificent teacher, Ernest Holmes, said, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he or she thinks into it." Have you ever watched a game show on television where the commentator had all the contestants standing in front of these doors? I'll put my glasses on so we can make sure everything is holy. Okay. The commentator is giving a hint as to what's beyond the doors, anywhere from a microwave and all the way to perhaps a car. Imagine that you are a contestant on this show, okay? And we're going to call it Let's Make a Deal. But instead of making a deal, the deal will be for your life. Door number 1, being the door of stagnancy. Door number 2, being the door of regulated risks. Or door number 3, being the door of unlimited potential. Each door represents the stages of the veil. Doesn't veil have a mystical connotation? Doesn't veil have a barrier? I'm going to let you put the connotation that you want, but imagine the veil. Today, I want to talk to us about something powerful that resonates within each of us, the veil of fear. It's an invisible barrier that often holds us back from realizing our true potential. And check it out. If the veil is left unaddressed, it can keep us from reaching or setting aspirations and prevent us from living a life of fulfillment. So living behind the veil can sort of stifle your innovations and your creativity. And when one is bound by conventional thinking or fear of the unknown, they may resist exploring new ideas or taking those risks. And this is a phenomenon that is universal. Which one are you going to choose? Okay? The door you choose will decide the outcome of your life. But will fear cause you to choose the door of complacency and not take a risk, which could change the trajectory of your life? Or will you bet on yourselves and let the games begin? Let me ask you, how many, I'll put it this way, I am an ex-Catholic, and I know there might be a few of us in here, so my story may resonate with you in this regard. But my story is one, I came from Philadelphia and had a relatively nice life. And one of the things that was insisted, I came from a very musical family. So everybody in there did something. They played something, they sang something, they did something along those lines. Well, mine was my voice. So my mother insisted that I take voice lessons for years, and I did. She had these aspirations of the next Marian Anderson, but that wasn't going to happen. I'm a jazz singer at the root. But what that did for me was train me on how to utilize my instrument. So let me give you a little heads up on my family. In my family, some of them loved me and some of them didn't, but it's okay, because it's everybody's family. But in my family, I was the go-to person. If somebody was getting married, they'd go to Constance. If somebody died, they'd go to Constance. And I'd do what I had to do at the respective ceremonies, okay? But there was this one particular time that I was being asked to sing for my cousin Adrian's wedding. And I'm telling you, this wedding was going to read like the who's who in Philadelphia society. And I'm telling you, the buzz was out. And so my auntie had called my mother up and said, Adrian asked Constance to sing. So my mother, being the mother of me, was so excited. And so she said to me, so baby, what are you going to sing? So I said, I think I'm going to sing Evergreen by Barbara Streisand, because I love Barbara Streisand. And I'm going to sing the Lord's Prayer. Now, my mother said to me, you could do Barbara Streisand, but you need somebody else to do the Lord's Prayer. And I said, well, why? I could sing. And she said, no, you haven't been singing for a long time, so I don't think you should sing that. You should turn around and give it to a professional, because you do not want to embarrass the family. How many times have you heard something like that? Don't embarrass me, okay? So every day, you have to know my mother. And my mother was precious, but she was relentless. If there was something that she wanted to make sure that she got her point across, she was not going to lighten up until you changed it. And so that was going along with the way she was telling me every day, did you get somebody to sing the Lord's Prayer for you? So I would say no, and I mean every day she'd call me for our little chat, and the next line was, who'd you get? So let me rush past that and go to this. So when my cousin told me that there was going to be someone who was going to play for me, and I was to meet with them 2 days or a day or so before the wedding, I was really excited because I didn't know who that was going to be. And when I met Gabriel Hardiman, who maybe many of you may not know of, but he was one of the who's who to go to in secular music, especially within the African American, or within our music, right? And when I met him, I couldn't breathe. And so he said to me, he said, well, what are you going to sing? So I said, I'm going to do Barbara Streisand's Evergreen. And I said, but my mother told me to get somebody for the Lord's Prayer. So he said, well, let's deal with first the Streisand piece. I sang that, and he was happy. He was like, you're going to be all right. And he said, so what's with the Lord's Prayer? And I said, well, my mother doesn't think I could do it. I haven't been singing for a while, and she's thinking I can't handle it. She said, let me hear your instrument for real. So he had me stand up there and release my fear, because I was so excited to be in the midst of Gabriel Hardiman, man. So I sang the Lord's Prayer. And he was quiet when we finished, and I was going to think, he was getting ready to say, yeah, your mother's right, get somebody, okay? And then he said to me, has your mother heard you lately? So I told him no. He said, let's blow her out of the pew, okay? So I said, it's on. So now, let's go to the wedding. The day of the wedding, I want you to get a picture of this. There are 4 very prominent people in my life. My husband, my father, well, baby, you're the real prominent one. But my daddy, that was the first love of my life. My daddy, a strong Jamaican man whose pride was always evident. My mother, who was a devout Catholic, whose best friend was the Virgin Mary, and she kept them little rosary beads in her purse, and she was doing novenas on all the time. And then there was my brother, who was a skeptic. He's like, don't mess up this family. And there was my cousin Janice, who was there for the fallout. She had the fan in case my mother needed her, right? So here they are. They're sitting in the pew. People are coming in the church, and you're like, oh, we're seeing, it looks like a who's who. You know, you got doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs walking in here. So my mother is looking all proud, and I'm in the church, and so I go and I take my seat up on the podium. She's still looking around. I think she's looking up for inspiration from Mary to find out where the other person is, but she's figuring everything's under control. So when the time came for me to sing the first song, which was Evergreen, I killed it, okay? I got up there and I sang with all my heart, and afterwards, there was a ripple of applause. So I said, oh, this is going to be good. So my mother's smiling, she's still looking around for this other person. And then when the time came for me to sing, or for the next one to be for the Lord's Prayer, I walked up to the podium, and Gabriel winked at me, and the veil dissipated. It dissipated. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the veil. When you give that veil permission to go, you're saying yes to Spirit. And when you're saying yes to Spirit, it's not your job to realize or think about how it's going to show up. You just got to say yes. So I got up there, and I let my games begin. And then I realized shortly it wasn't me up there singing. But I said, well, there ain't no time to think about it now. I'm going to have to keep going. So I went on, and I sang, but I left. I just elevated. I don't know what happened. But then I heard this little voice say, skip an octave and hold the note. And when it came to that point, I knew exactly what it meant because I didn't have anything to do with it. It skipped an octave, and I held onto that note, and I held on to it just to let y'all know I really had that note under control. That was my note, okay? And then I let it go into the amen. I mean, people were clapping. They stood up and they clapped. My mother, who had been calling on Mary, had released all of it. Tears were coming down her face. My father was looking at me, yeah, baby, I knew it. My brother was like saying, okay, his status was cool within the family. I didn't mess anything up. But the point was, I got work after the what you call it? My uncle came up to me and he said, baby, he said, when I die, I want you to sing at my funeral. And then another person came up and asked, did I do weddings? And I said, wow, all this from stepping from beyond the veil. That veil, had I let it be door number 2, or really complacent, just singing a nice little song and giving it to somebody else, it'd have been a nice day. But I went to door number 3, and it changed the trajectory of my life in terms of my singing. I sang, but it wasn't me. When you let that thing go, it is not you. It is the Spirit within you that is seeking expression because you are a vehicle. How do we see God? We see it through each other because that's what we are. We are vehicles of divine expression. Think about it, okay? Now, I'm going to talk to you about somebody else. I always get a little chill when I talk about that story because it makes me think and keep myself. And you got to stay by that door number 3, okay? But I'm going to tell you this other story about someone else who his story is synonymous with motivation and resilience. His story encapsulates the power of perseverance, as well as the courage to dream beyond the limitations that fear could have imposed upon him. I want you to do a lot of imagination with what I'm saying. Imagine you're in a neighborhood, low income in Miami. Imagine a single mother of twin boys who were labeled, and I want you to remember that word, labeled. How many of us are living beyond labels that other people gave to you? When they give it to you, how many of us are still living out those labels of something somebody imposed on you as their perception of how you're supposed to show up? Well, her boys were deemed educationally retarded by teachers. But this mother said, I refuse to accept the diagnosis of other people, and instilled in her kids that they could achieve anything that they set their mind to do. So one day, one of the twins, his life took a pivotal turn. He worked as a sanitation worker, but he always had this fire in his belly. He knew there was something else. Wasn't sure. He didn't want to spend his life hanging on the side of a sanitation truck. He knew something else was going on in here. And all of us have that inclination because spirit wants to show up big time. But it's okay, let's go. So he had the opportunity to hear a motivational speaker, Zig Ziglar. And he heard his recordings. He was so inspired by Zig, he said, I'm going to have a different life. I'm going to be a motivational speaker. But the first time he attempted to break into this world of motivational speaking, he was met with rejection. He was told that he didn't have a talent and he should never speak in public. But this young man's real breakthrough was inspired by the first no's that he got. He said, well, I want to do something else. I want to work in the radio station. I hear all these great DJs and I want to be one of those. I know I could be one. So what he did was he lived near a radio station. And every day that he could, he would go to the radio station and observe the personalities at work. And he, despite numerous attempts to secure a job at the station, because he'd go in every day, are there any jobs? And they were like, no. Is there something I could do? No. But he faced rejection every time. The stage manager would tell him there are no positions available and that he lacked the education and the experience needed for a job in broadcasting. And this young man still was undeterred, and he continued to persist. Every day he would sit at the reception area of the radio station waiting and hoping for an opportunity to showcase his enthusiasm and the latent potential. He offered to do any task that would get his foot, toe, ankle in the job, even if it meant going to get coffee for the people. He didn't care. He didn't stop there. The man of whom I speak is Les Brown. The aforementioned was Les Brown's let's make a deal moment. He could either choose door number one, giving up and staying with his current job as a sanitation worker, door number two, to continue to be the now gopher for the station, or door number three, betting on himself and taking a risk. This is how universe works. It's called the law of intent. Break that word down. Ten, what you tending. Something that was his intent was he was not going to give up. So one fateful day, as he was sitting there waiting for the next coffee order, the announcer that was supposed to go on the station had a little bout with some alcohol, I think. Maybe it's a little high. He didn't get to work. And they were panicked. And Les stepped up. He ran over to the station manager because they were panicked. They didn't have any personalities to go on. And he said, I can do this. I can do this. Let me just have this chance. And despite his lack of experience, this man was given the opportunity to take the microphone. And the games began. This impromptu chance on air was the turning point in the life of Les Brown. His natural gift for communication and his motivation showed through capturing the attention of both the station manager, who was like, what? And the people that were the listeners. They were calling in saying, oh God, this man is off the chain. The audience responded in overwhelming measures, and this event was the beginning of his career in broadcasting. Then as he got into that, less widened. Because once you give spirit a chance to do something, and you say, okay, I'll try something else, I'll spread it out a little bit. Well, then he now began his speaking career. Again, he stumbled. He faced rejection. He experienced racism, but he developed the mindset. Now, hear me. Each setback is a set up to get up. This was his motto. And his attitude towards conquering his fears is a model to us all. How many times did you experience setbacks that let that veil of fear keep you from being anything but that complacent person? In the words of our beloved Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, true courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the triumph over it. It's the willingness to move forward despite the presence of fear. Holmes goes on to say, the veil of fear is but a temporary illusion. He said it's but a temporary illusion, and it's a mist that obscures our inner brilliance. How many times, think about the last time you were behind that mist. What's the last thing that you resisted doing? The last time you were scared to take a chance because you didn't know what the outcome was going to be. But any time that you have, and I like playing with words, I'm a teacher, what can I tell you? The inspiration. Break that word down. In, yes, spire means spirit, and ation is the action. Every time you have an inspiration to do something, it is the spirit within you seeking to express itself through you, the vehicle through which we're able to see it. Okay? Neville Goddard is another one of the metaphysicians that I get particularly excited about. He said, your imagination is your greatest asset. Fear is born in the mind. And fear can leave with that same vehicle, the mind. Make a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision. And Florence Scovel Shinn, the author of The Games of Life and How to Play It, can be quoted as saying, every work, every big accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding on to the vision. And often, just before the big achievement comes what you look at as apparent failure and discouragement. Can these things be veils? Think about it. What is your self-imposed limitation? What illusion are you stuck behind? Is there a mist in front of your accomplishments? Or will your fear cause you to choose the door of complacency and not take the risk? Or remain stagnant where you are? Or choose door number 3 that can change the trajectory of your life? In the words of a striving metaphysician, a.k.a. Constance Boothe, I say, let the games begin. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, that was a very inspiring talk with personal message and another message. Careful. Okay. So now it's time for our New Minister Sacred Covenant. This is the abbreviated version of this. You can get the full version on our website, cslmidtown.org. There is only one life. This life is God, and I am one with it. I know my new minister is a revelation of spirit as principle, fulfilling God's promise. For principle is not bound by precedent, but operates according to law for those who align with it. Together with my community, I see my new minister inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. one that is awakened to inner wisdom, communicates universal truth, and serves as a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy. One that recognizes the inherent wholeness within all beings and offers teachings grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner transformation. One that extends love, compassion, and spirit's transformative power into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift individuals on their unique journeys. As I accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know they will be revealed in a way that expresses spirit and serves the highest good of all touched by their presence. I am grateful, for God is good, and so it is. And now it's time for our affirmation of prosperity. There's a basket in the back if you're here in the room, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. That will take you there, or go to cslmidtown.org/donate, and you can set up, you can do a one-time donation or set up an ongoing donation. And we really appreciate everybody that is supporting this ministry. We're glad that you're here, whether you're here in person or you're online, and most of the time we are online. So this is feeding you. The ministers we bring to you every single week are feeding you. Please consider donating. So here's our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universal abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. So it is. So our announcements, I want to thank Reverend John for being our practitioner today, Reverend Constance for being our speaker today, and next week we'll be back online. Reverend James Peake is going to talk about Who I Think I Am Reflects How I Am. To be an interesting talk with Reverend James. And Sundays at 10 a.m. before the service online, in our Zoom room, we've got a study group that meets. They're working on a new book. I don't know that they've decided on. They'll tell me what their new book is. We just are finishing up the entire Science of Mathematics book. So they went from the front to the back and are picking a new book. It's one of Ernest Holmes' books. I know it's one of two. So you don't have to have read, but come and join. And it's a lively little group that is doing that. So here is our affirmation of life. I leave this place, and you can read this with me, knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. And everybody online, thanks for being here. Everybody in the room, we're going to rearrange and do the potluck. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey, oh yeah, grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day, I'm I just count my blessings. I just count my blessings.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.